So you know what I do? I blast them with protein.
Barbara O'Neill clears up common misunderstandings about cholesterol. She explains that cholesterol is actually important for our health and highlights the difference between good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol. O'Neill also questions the heavy use of cholesterol-lowering drugs and suggests focusing on a healthy diet and lifestyle instead. Her message is about understanding cholesterol better and making smarter choices for heart health. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos.
The liver makes cholesterol, and by the way, it makes cholesterol according to the demand our body puts on it. And 80% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from glucose, and 20% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from fat. It's not the butter on the bread, it's the bread under the butter that's the problem. And that's what Atkins found. So let's have a look at cholesterol. There are two main types. One is high density lipoprotein called HDL, high density lipoprotein, and LDL. HDL is usually called the good guy, and the reason for that is it's the carrier. So it carries excess cholesterol from the blood back into the liver. That's why it's called the good guy. LDL is called the bad guy. But what you've got to remember is the body doesn't make anything bad. It has a role. So what is its role? Its role is that of a repairer and a rebuilder. So wherever there's damage, you're going to find LDL because it's the repairer and the rebuilder. But it plays another role. It delivers cholesterol to the brain because the brain loves cholesterol. Glucose burns at 4 calories per gram. A calorie is a unit of energy. That's what glucose burns at. Whereas fat burns at 9 calories per gram. Can you see why the brain loves fat? Because fat is going to give more than twice the units of energy, and our brain cells, they're consuming fuel fast. Let's have a look at the blood vessel and how the cholesterol works in the blood vessel. Because of its low density, LDL is always on the edge. Because of its high density, HDL is always in the middle. Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, who wrote the book Put Your Heart in Your Mouth, she spends the first 4 chapters of her book defining what damages the arterial wall. See, the arterial walls are lined with little endothelium cells, and chemicals damage them. Heavy metals damage them. There's your mercuries. What's going to plug the holes up, students? The LDL cholesterol, that's its role, that's its job. So it comes along and it plugs up. If it doesn't plug the hole up, we would bleed into the tissues. Can you see that? So they're like the Band-Aid. But the person doesn't realize that the moldy house is killing them. The person doesn't realize the 4,000 chemicals that are in a cigarette. So they keep smoking. They don't realize the danger in their washing detergents, in their toothpaste. So can you see that it's still happening? And they read an article that says, no, mercury does not kill you at all. Well, they haven't read the science. You know, it's a neurotoxin. Can you see what's happening? Something else is happening. So all through the bloodstream, we've got little molecules of protein. When a person is on a high carbohydrate diet, releasing a lot of glucose into the blood, the glucose connects with the protein molecules. These little combinations become sticky and they stick. And let's say we've got a narrow piece here and they come along and oops, they've caused a blockage. That is the #1 cause of heart disease.
Cholesterol is crucial for various bodily functions, including hormone production, cell membrane formation, and brain function. The liver produces most of the body's cholesterol, with 80% made from glucose and 20% from fat. She challenges the common belief that all cholesterol is bad, explaining that cholesterol itself is not harmful. Instead, she highlights the difference between HDL, good cholesterol, and LDL, often labeled as bad cholesterol. HDL helps remove excess cholesterol from the bloodstream, returning it to the liver for processing or excretion. LDL, though often called bad, plays a crucial role in repairing and rebuilding tissues and delivering cholesterol to the brain. O'Neill explains that various factors, including smoking, exposure to chemicals, and a high carbohydrate diet, can damage arterial walls. LDL cholesterol helps repair this damage, preventing bleeding into tissues.
It was probably 5 years ago now at Living Springs Retreat. We had a scientist do our program with his wife, who was a nutritionist. They're both in their late 60s. She's 69. She said, I've been a nutritionist for 40 years. So she said, I was educated in university 40 years ago, and she said, 40 years ago we were told that a cholesterol level of 300 and under was perfectly normal. Has the body changed? No. So can you see what medicine has done? They've dropped the levels. They now say that if you are over 190, you're a walking, talking heart attack. I have had people say that to me. One girl was 30, her cholesterol levels were 192, and the doctor said, you've got to go on cholesterol-lowering medication. 30,000 people were assessed. This has been going for 30 years. They started it to prove that cholesterol causes heart disease, but it hasn't. It hasn't at all. Some people with low cholesterol levels are having heart attacks. We had a lady from England do our program. She said, I had a heart attack recently and I had a cholesterol level of 150. She said they did an angiogram, my arteries were clear. What happened there? She was under great stress. You know, great stress can constrict the arteries. There are many factors that come into play, as you probably can see. But what this study showed, the Framingham Heart Study, that's what it's called, it showed that people with high cholesterol levels don't get Alzheimer's. Why don't they get Alzheimer's? Because what does the brain love? Fat. So what's a good cholesterol level? Oh, probably 200, 250. So see what's happened? They've got many people on cholesterol-lowering medication. They've got everyone on the fat-free diet, and because you're not getting the feeling of satiation or satisfaction when you eat, the person eats huge amounts of carbs. They've lowered the cholesterol level so they can get more people on cholesterol-lowering medication, and people are eating margarine. Oh, surely all of that has reduced heart disease. No.
She criticizes the widespread use of statins and other cholesterol-lowering drugs, arguing that they can cause significant side effects, such as memory loss, and that cholesterol levels considered high are often not dangerous. O'Neill emphasizes the importance of diet and lifestyle changes in managing cholesterol levels, advocating for a diet rich in fiber, healthy fats, and protein while avoiding refined carbohydrates and processed foods. She addresses the misconception that dietary cholesterol significantly impacts blood cholesterol levels, stating that research shows little to no effect.
One has to ask why if the cholesterol levels are high. Atkins found on his dietary program, where the people are eating cream, butter, cheese, eggs, meat, their cholesterol levels went down. Whew. He found his patients with high triglyceride levels came down. He was so excited about this, he went into the medical journals to see if there was research to prove what he was finding, and there was. In fact, in the 1980s, there was research that proved that dietary cholesterol in the food, had little or no effect on blood cholesterol levels. Atkins found, and this, you might find this interesting, he found that fibre was an essential nutrient. These are the three essentials. Fibre is essential. In what way is fibre essential? Our gastrointestinal tract needs to be swept every day, and it is fibre that sweeps it. Our gastrointestinal tract doesn't work without the movement. If the sewage system slows down, the whole body gets poisoned. But it is in the fibre part of the food, in your whole grain pastas, whole grain rices, breads, grains, that's where most of your B vitamins are. Once you throw the fibre away, you've thrown a lot of the essential vitamins. Atkins also found that protein is an essential nutrient. In what way is protein essential? The membrane around every cell in your body is 50% protein. Do Do you remember yesterday I talked about the double helix strand of the DNA? The crossword bands are amino acids. What are amino acids? Let me show you. This is protein. This is what protein looks like under a microscope. In your gastrointestinal tract, enzymes break that protein down to peptides and polypeptides. And then those peptides and polypeptides come down into your small intestine, and enzymes from your pancreas break them down into amino acids. Only as amino acids can they be then absorbed out of your hollow tube and into your blood and become part of your body. So basically, protein is made up of amino acids. I found it interesting when I read of Florence Nightingale that when she had very sick, weak patients, she would give them raw milk or beef tea. What do raw milk or beef tea contain? Both contain protein in a very simple, usable form. Your body cannot heal without protein. On a low protein diet, the body cannot heal. I've had some very sick people come to our health retreat who've been on raw food or fasting for a couple of years. They haven't had enough protein to heal.
She also discusses how lowering cholesterol levels too much can have negative consequences, like increasing the risk of Alzheimer's. O'Neill encourages a holistic approach to heart health, including stress management, regular exercise, and a balanced diet, rather than relying solely on medications. These points outline her perspective on cholesterol, focusing on its vital functions, the potential harm of overly aggressive cholesterol-lowering strategies, and the importance of a balanced, natural approach to maintaining heart health. If you found this video informative, make sure to give a like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so that you won't miss out on any future videos.